Hey guys, it's Misty with My Paper Cuts, and today I'm coming on for December 2nd for my different kind of December daily video. So today I didn't do as much as I would have hoped, but I am prepped to do a lot more tomorrow and or Friday. I do work 10 hours a day at my job, so during the week is when it's pretty short for me to have much time to do much, but I thought I would share. This is the next paper pad that I am using for my cards that I have been sharing with y'all, that I am inspired by the Secret Santa to do. So I have 4 cards that I will be doing 6 each of, and like I've said previously, I do use 12 by 12 paper a lot. I have a lot of 6 by 6, which I normally prefer for cards, but since I'm kind of doing themed or sets of projects, I've been using my 12 by 12. So when I cut a piece of 12 by 12 paper for cards, for instance, if I was to cut this one, I would cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4. And the reason I would do that is it would give me a 1/4 inch for basically an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around in A2 card base. So this would give me 6 sheets, and I wouldn't necessarily use the whole sheets, but it would give me 6 pieces, for the card bases. So that's what I do first when I want to do a set of cards, is I pick out my 4 sheets, and then I will go through and pick out stamps or dies to put with those sheets that I decided to use for cards. So I thought I would share where I'm at in the process of that right now for this particular pad. So the first sheet that I picked was, here it is cut down, so I have it all cut down and ready to go. It is one of the larger prints, but I did cut it in a way so that each paper has at least some of the greenery on it. And let me see if I can find that sheet for you guys real quick. It was hard to choose in this one. I do like this pad. I feel like it's so retro, and it reminds me of my childhood and in the imagery from all the packaging and advertising back then, especially the bold vintagey colors. So I don't see it in here, but you guys get the idea. So this was the first one that I picked, and let me move this out of the way because it's got a bit of a glare. So what I did for this was I used this Bo Bunny stamp set with these ornaments, and I heat embossed them, one in gold and one in this pewter color. And I'm going to use my Scan and Cut to cut these out, and my plan is to make hanging ornaments from this with this in the background. And I'll probably die cut some greenery to go on top, but so that is my plan for this card. So this is all set to go into the Scan and Cut for my next step. So that's that piece. And then the next one that I have is I picked this cabin paper, and I specifically gravitated towards this one, and because I knew I had this stamp and this die in my set, and I like this die. It has lots of the little details on it. So I had die cut a bunch of those out, and I cut this one horizontally, and I do I do suggest that before you cut into it, you know which direction you want your card to go. And I will usually judge that based on whatever stamp I've chosen to go with it. So like in this case, it's a die, and I just thought that this die suited this landscape type print better than if I had done it this way. I feel like I can get more bang for my buck and put a nice sentiment up here with the size of this die. So I have 6 of these cut out to do the things. And I had already done these previously, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but the house itself is cut out of a wood grain paper. And I backed it up on just some watercolor. It's cheap watercolor that I don't watercolor on. I just buy it for the texture of it. And then after I put it together, in the actual windows, I did yellow Copic, and then there's a little heart there at the top that I just did. I just stuck the nib of my pen into the heart and colored it red, and then I put a little silver specialty paper on for the smoke. So those are all set to go now. So these ones are actually ready for when I start doing the card assembly. I don't have to do any more cutting or anything. I'll just have to pick my sentiment. I might do some trees. I really like this tree, or this whole set of trees. So I may stamp those out and cut those out with my ScanNCut. I haven't decided yet. I just feel like they match that paper really well. So that's the second card I'll be doing. And then the third paper that I have is this sparkly candy cane. And it's nice because this one is actually a random pattern. So it doesn't matter which direction I cut it, but it does have some glitter to it. And for the Happy Candy Canes, I decided to go with this Pretty Pink Posh reindeer set. It's super cute, and this will give you guys some insight as to how I stamp out my images and deal with those. I cut my 8.5 and 11 paper in half, and that fits into my MISTI perfectly. And then I line up all my stamps, and these bows aren't included in that, but I line up all the stamps like right there, and I stamp them, and then I flip the paper around and I stamp them again. So they are two different directions, but that doesn't bother me while I color. And then I have a nice half sheet that fit into my MISTI, and that I can just put on my Brother ScanNCut mat and cut them all out at once. So, and these are all colored and ready to go. So that will go with the candy cane paper. And then last but not least, I picked the pink Christmas tree retro-y. I don't know, this one just screams vintage and retro to me. And immediately I thought of this stamp here, which is a Simon Says stamp, and I love this Santa. This Santa to me just screams back in the 70s. And so I stamped him out, and I always stamp a few extras just so I have something to play with in case one doesn't color up well, or in case my pen splooges, because Copics will do that. So I have 8 of him colored, and so these will be all set to go, and I will cut these out with my ScanNCut as well, and I'll probably pop these ones up on foam. And then the other thing I did for this card was, I thought I have these bells, and I don't know where I put them. I'm so sorry. Oh, they're right here. They're in the same set. These 3 bells, which I thought also go with this paper really well. So I colored them at the top. This will be my inside of my card. And so I will draw a line and maybe do some sort of doodling of some greenery or something across the top, or maybe even die cut a piece to just put across the top. But then my inside sentiment will go here, and those are all colored up. So these are actually cut down a little smaller to go onto the inside of the card. So that will be set for this card. So that was all my prep work that I did today. Was making sure everything was cut down and ready to go. So my next step for this tomorrow will be to get them onto my ScanNCut and get them all cut out, and decide whether or not I want them popped up on foam, and get that foam cut out as well. And if I have enough time and energy, I will go ahead and cut the card bases as well, so that those are all set to go, and get my stamp stamped on the back. But I will share that tomorrow. And thanks for stopping by. And I want to give a special shout out to Susan and her bestie Linda. Thank you guys for playing along. I just want to inspire people to take the time to actually, use their craft supplies, and, try to get their mojo going. And, sometimes we only have a few minutes in a day. But anyway, I'm just honored that you guys decided to play along. So, thanks again, you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.